Today, we are diving into first-year anatomy, specifically focusing on the definition and its subdivisions. I'll be breaking down what anatomy really is and the different areas it covers. Human anatomy is the science that deals with the structure of the human body. As you mentioned, the word anatomy is derived from the Greek word anatomy, and dissection is its Latin equivalent. While both literally mean to cut up, there is a significant difference between them in the medical field. It can be simplified as follows. Dissection, a process or method. This is the physical act of cutting and separating body parts to see the internal organs and tissues directly. It is a technique. It is a manual action performed using hands or surgical instruments. Scope. Dissection is merely a tool used to aid learning. Once the act of cutting and exploring the specimen is finished, the process of dissection ends. Anatomy. A wide field of study. Anatomy refers to the deep knowledge of the body's structure, the relationship between different parts, and their specific locations. Extensive study. Anatomy is not limited to what is seen through dissection. It also includes studies conducted without cutting, such as using X-rays, MRIs, and microscopes. Histology. Goal. The goal is to understand exactly how every part of the body is constructed and how they relate to one another. In short, if studying how a house is built is anatomy, then the act of opening up a wall to see the wiring and pipes inside is dissection. Human anatomy is studied using preserved cadavers, bodies. This is generally called gross anatomy. There are two primary ways to approach this study. 1. Regional anatomy. In this approach, the body is organized into geographic regions. Instead of looking at one system, like nerves, everywhere at once, you focus on everything in one specific area. Examples: the upper limb, lower limb, thorax, chest, abdomen, head and neck, and the brain. 2. Systemic anatomy. In this approach, the body is studied by functional systems, regardless of where they are located in the body. Osteology, the skeletal system, bones. Myology, the muscular system. Arthrology, syndesmology, the articulatory system, joints and ligaments. Angiology, the vascular system, heart and blood vessels. Neurology, the nervous system. Splanchnology, this covers the internal organs, including the respiratory, digestive, urogenital, and endocrine systems. The locomotor system, the system that allows us to move. It is a combination of three specific fields: osteology, bones; arthrology, joints; myology, muscles. Living anatomy is the method of studying the body of a living human being. It is vital for diagnosis and clinical treatment. The primary methods used for this study are as follows. Primary methods of study. Inspection, the process of observing body parts closely with the naked eye. This helps in understanding the color, shape, and any swelling, edema, of the body. Palpation, the method of examining by touching with the hands. This allows a practitioner to feel the size, consistency, and tenderness, pain upon pressure, of organs. Percussion, a technique of tapping on the body surface with fingers to listen to the resulting sound. This helps identify whether an organ contains air, fluid, or is solid. Auscultation, the method of listening to internal body sounds, such as heartbeats or lung sounds, usually by using a stethoscope. Advanced techniques. Endoscopy, a procedure where a tube with a small camera is inserted into the body to examine internal parts. Bronchoscopy, to examine the airways, lungs. Gastroscopy, to examine the stomach. Radiography, using technologies like X-rays to observe internal bones and other organs. Electromyography, EMG, a method used to measure the electrical activity of muscles and the nerve signals sent to them. Embryology, also known as developmental anatomy, which focuses on the growth of a human being from conception until birth. Embryology, this is the study of the stages of growth that occur inside the womb before a baby is born. Ontogeny, this refers to the developmental history of an individual organism from the state of a fertilized egg, embryo, through its full growth into an adult. It covers the entire lifespan of a single being. Phylogeny, unlike ontogeny, this is not about a single person's growth. Instead, it refers to the evolutionary history of a whole species, how a group of organisms evolved over millions of years. Histology, microscopic anatomy. Histology is the study of body structures that are too small to be seen with the naked eye. It requires the aid of a microscope to examine cells and tissues. This allows scientists to see the intricate details of how our organs are built at a cellular level. Surface anatomy, topographic anatomy. Surface anatomy is the study of the relationship between deeper body structures, like organs, bones, or blood vessels, and the surface of the skin. Clinical importance. It is extremely helpful in clinical practice and surgical operations. For example, a surgeon uses surface landmarks to know exactly where to make an incision to reach a specific internal organ, or a doctor uses it to find the correct spot to listen to heart valves. Radiographic and imaging anatomy is the study of the body's internal structures, such as bones and deep organs, using various medical imaging technologies without the need for surgery. Key methods: plane and contrast radiography, plane radiography, standard X-rays used primarily to view bones and dense structures. Contrast radiography involves using a special dye, contrast medium, to make specific organs, like the digestive tract or blood vessels, show up clearly on an X-ray. Ultrasound uses high-frequency sound waves to create real-time images of soft tissues and organs, such as the liver, kidneys, or a developing fetus during pregnancy. Computerized tomographic (CT) scans uses a series of X-ray images taken from the body and processes them via computer to create cross-sectional, 3D, images of the bones, blood vessels, and soft tissues. Why is it important? It allows doctors to identify fractures, tumors, or organ diseases accurately and non-invasively. Comparative anatomy is the branch of science where the body structure and functions of humans are compared with those of other living organisms to gain a clearer understanding of human biology. What is studied? It examines how the organs, bones, and muscles of various animals differ from or resemble those of humans. The goal: its primary objective is to discover how human body parts have changed and adapted throughout the process of evolution. Physical anthropology is the branch that deals with the study of human physical characteristics and their development over time. It primarily focuses on two areas: external appearance and measurements. It involves the scientific measurement and study of physical features, such as skin color, height, and skull shape, among different human populations, races, across the world. Prehistoric remains. It involves the study of bones, teeth, and other remains of humans or their ancestors who lived millions of years ago. This helps us understand how humans evolved into their modern form. Applied anatomy or clinical anatomy is the practical application of anatomical knowledge to the actual field of medicine and treatment. Use: it helps doctors in making an accurate diagnosis and performing surgeries with precision. Example: when giving an injection, this knowledge is used to decide exactly which muscle or blood vessel the needle should enter. Experimental anatomy is the branch that studies the factors that influence the shape, structure, and function of body parts through scientific experiments. What is studied? It examines how factors like diet, hormones, exercise, or external environments change the growth and structure of the body. The goal: its objective is to discover, through observation and experimentation, why each part of the body is shaped or structured in its specific way. Genetics is the scientific branch that studies the information contained within the chromosomes of our cells. Key concept: the genes located on our chromosomes determine our physical traits, such as skin color, height, and various characteristics. Heredity: genetics explains how this information is passed down from parents to children. Heredity, and how genetic disorders or diseases occur.